Emily Painter reporting. The Trump administration is waiving the remaining $11 million of a $140 million penalty against Southwest Airlines for its December 2022 holiday meltdown. The DOT says that's because Southwest has invested more than $1 billion to improve its operations since then. President Trump met with his counterparts from Canada and Mexico in D.C. yesterday after joining them at the FIFA World Cup draw. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more from D.C.
The FIFA World Cup coming with a side of international affairs. As President Trump received the inaugural Peace Prize, the president called receiving the award one of the great honors of his life. He has touted ending several wars, saving millions of lives with an eye on stopping the war in Ukraine next. The president also highlighted the domestic impact of the World Cup. He sees the event as an economic opportunity, with the games potentially generating $30 billion in gross output for the country. The administration is sharpening its message on the economy. Regarding positive economic markers, the Challenger report shows layoff plans fell last month compared to October. That is 24% higher than November last year, but the administration believes things will turn around.
America's listening to Fox News.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, I'm Teresa Giudice.
I'm Clay Aiken.
I am Dre DeMatteo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Whelan.
Hey, everybody. It's Billy Baldwin.
It's Patricia Heaton.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Palizzi.
It's Candace Bushnell.
Hey, everyone. It's Henry Golding.
Hey, everybody. It's Kevin Nealon.
I'm Ted Lange, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Congresswoman
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Trying to determine how they died. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. Indiana State Police started investigating the death of 36-year-old inmate Trinidad Ramirez on November 26th. Now they say another inmate has died at the Miami Correctional Facility. 38-year-old Anthony Barbie was dead on Friday. Both victims' families have been notified. The Miami County Coroner's Office and the Correctional Facility are helping state police in their investigation, and it's unclear if any foul play was involved in either of the deaths. Folks in Greensburg are facing charges of selling drugs following a state police investigation. Jake McDaniel reports.
State police went to a Greensburg apartment on November 23rd where they found meth, marijuana, and prescription meds inside. Investigators believe the suspects were selling drugs to hundreds of people in Decatur County and across southeastern Indiana. Ronald Lawrence and Deanna Embry are now facing several criminal charges. Decatur County prosecutors also say Jamie Huffman and Ray Frazier were also charged with visiting a common nuisance. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Inside the Kids Innovative Developmental Services in Fishers is a coffee shop helping teenagers and adults with disabilities looking to pick up job skills. Shelly King opened up the One Cafe coffee shop inside her clinic. She tells Inside Indiana Business they're about boosting someone's confidence.
Because any little bit, no matter how small, can change one person's life.
King is planning to expand training opportunities by adding a modified grocery store to the clinic. And Sunday's game between the Colts and the Jaguars kicking off at 1. Indianapolis is trying to win in Jacksonville for the first time since 2014. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy skies. Precipitation chances will be highest in the morning. Focus mainly north. Light snow showers north of I-70. Transitions to mix as the day goes on. The southern half of the state will mainly have spotty rain. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-705-9484. 800-705-9484. 800-705-9484.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our home has had Rhino Shield for 10 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Knocking on heaven's door.
Welcome back, Indianapolis. This is another edition of Saturday Night on the Circle, where I'm your Bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher, joined by producer Gavin on the board, beep, 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 pushing those buttons and doing the things to make the show function. And producer Gavin, this is a somewhat monumental evening because this is, as long as everything goes according to plan, this is the last scheduled program for Saturday Night on the Circle to be broadcast from the Emmis building where WIBC has been headquartered since 1998. We're going to be making the transition to the new Radio 1 studios located on East St. Joseph Street, and it has been a bit of a trial for all of us here at the station. Lots of technical difficulties, lots of chaos and mayhem unfolding every day. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't entirely sure that I would be in the studio this evening to do the broadcast because for the last 3 days, the software that we use to store, record, and play sound, where I have got my entire bump library, all the clips and sounders and things that I use in the production value of the show, that was just gone. It's just gone for the last 3 days, and fortunately, corporate IT was able to get it up and running again yesterday. There was another brief outage, but I come into the studio this afternoon, and everything is ready to go. So the transition is a little bit rocky, but we are all doing this together, and I'm excited for this season of change. I think it's going to be a switch for the better. I've seen the studios over there on East St. Joseph's. Have you been yet, producer Gavin? You haven't made it over there? Okay, yeah, it's pretty good stuff. They're not completely finished with all the fixtures and the fittings and the final getting ready, setting up the cubicles, stuff like that. But we are days away from the transition, and I'm excited. It's all new stuff. All new software. It's going to be good. New equipment. People have been complaining around here for years now about the state of the equipment. All that's going to be changed once we move over to the new building. So I'm excited to make the transition, and we'll do all that together on Saturday Night on the Circle. And some people asked, like, are you going to change the name of the show since you're not going to be on Monument Circle? Well, we'll be on Monument Circle in spirit, and it's still broadcast basically from just a few blocks away from Monument Circle. So I still think it counts to call it Saturday Night on the Circle. So we're not doing a name change. We're still plowing ahead right here on Saturday Night on the Circle, and it will stay the show that you've come to know and love. Thank you for joining me tonight, Oof Nation. Unfortunately, it is a bit of a sad start to the show because my community, we're right around the corner from where I live in Irvington. On Thursday evening, there was a shooting at Josephine's clothing store about 6:45 in the evening. So this isn't extremely late at night, but it was unfortunately a botched robbery that resulted in a fatality. And here was Commander Mike Leeper with the IMPD making the report not too long after officers responded to the shooting.
Shortly before 7 o'clock tonight, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police officers assigned to the East District received a radio dispatch call to 5620 East Washington Street on a report of a person shot. In less than 3 minutes, our officers arrived on this scene where they discovered an individual, an adult female, inside the location of this business who appeared to be potentially suffering from some type of trauma or a gunshot. Indianapolis EMS arrived on this scene where that female, an adult female, was pronounced deceased at the scene. This situation and the information that I'm providing you guys now is very preliminary. and is subject to change, but it evolved very rapidly. As our officers arrived on scene, they encountered an individual, an adult male, that fled from his scene. Our officers gave chase to that suspect just less than a block away from the location where we're at. There was dialogue between that individual and our officers. That individual was armed with a handgun. During that dialogue, which took place for several minutes, the officers were attempting to coerce this individual to drop a firearm and to be taken into custody. That individual did not do so, and at some point in time, there was a firearm that was discharged. At this point in time, we do believe that was by the suspect, and that individual was transported to a local level 1 trauma center in critical condition. No Indianapolis police officer or officers discharged their firearm during this incident. We do believe that individual shot himself.
Unfortunately, the name of the victim was 68-year-old Terry Lee Hetty, an employee of the store, and the perpetrator of the crime, the alleged shooter who later died at the hospital, thankfully, was 58-year-old Terry E. Morgan, of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And what really galled me was the first responders at the scene, the officers, had actually tried to give him life-saving medical intervention after he had taken the life of an innocent 68-year-old woman. And unfortunately, Gavin, this is something that we see on repeat in the city of Indianapolis, because this is obviously somebody who is a repeat offender. You can find the case files for yourself on My Case, a lovely resource that's provided to us by the state of Indiana. And he was somebody who was a habitual thief, somebody who had been convicted multiple times for robberies across his lifetime, and unfortunately this culminated in the fatality of an innocent person and the justified death of himself. And I feel no pity for somebody like that. I feel no remorse or sympathy for somebody who would take away the life of somebody in the community of Irvington who goes out of their way to help individuals in need. And had he asked, I'm sure she would have complied and handed over the money, but obviously something went very drastically wrong, and it resulted in her death and ultimately confrontation with officers that resulted in his as well. If only it hadn't escalated that far, if only he hadn't pulled the trigger on the victim before turning the gun on himself. Unfortunately, like I said, this is something that we see again and again and again in the city of Indianapolis because of the plea deals that are often offered by Prosecutor Ryan Mears and sympathetic judges within Marion County. We see the uncaring and callous attitude of our mayor, Joe Hogsett, who insists that downtown Indianapolis is safe, living in a state of perpetual denial and trying to gaslight you. But this is preventable. And even to some degree, the city of Indianapolis has been abandoned by the governor of the state. This is the capital city, and there seems to be no care or concern from Governor Mike Braun, who could do more to intervene and utilize state resources to take care of the crime that we see across the city, but seems uninterested in doing so. Instead, he's grandstanding. He appeared at the Turning Point USA rally at the State House yesterday, gave a speech, and to say that the attendance was paltry, I feel, is generous, because it was a fraction of the number of people who showed up to the property tax rally on St. Patrick's Day earlier this year, because he has completely alienated his base, completely alienated Hoosiers who are not standing to support him, certainly in the effort to reward 2 more Rhino Republicans at the federal level. And you heard opposition from the crowd who was booing the governor and calling Republicans more broadly in the state who are supportive of redistricting cheaters from the gallery.
Nearly 10 years ago, when Donald Trump came onto the scene, he took out 15 establishment politicians. We all remember why. Half the country was fed up with business as usual in D.C. We were tired of everybody's raising posters for Chuck Schumer. And now you know the new populace, AOC,
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
every time this issue has been pulled, every time there has been a listening session from one of the members of the General Assembly, there is a broad opposition from both parties within the state. It is a bipartisan opposition, and it is Hoosiers taking a stand for the representative democracy that our founders envisioned. And if Republicans want to take the city of Indianapolis and they want to get rid of awful representatives like Andre Carson, which I support in its entirety, then they need to do better than burping up schmucks like John Schmitz to run for Congress. That was always going to be a losing proposition. And more broadly, the Republican governance in the state has abandoned Indianapolis. They don't even try anymore. So to reward their malfeasance with 2 more safe districts is completely uncalled for, in my estimation. And what's worse is even the legislators who have crafted the bill, in this case Ben Smaltz, who introduced the bill, said Tuesday and admitted outright that the maps are politically motivated. Of course, he was using that as a defense against the accusation that they were racially motivated.
The map is designed to give Republicans an advantage. It divides Marion County into 4 separate districts. State Representative Ben Smaltz introduced the bill to redistrict Indiana mid-decade. That decision is fueling concerns and questions about how the map could dilute the voting power of minorities or unseat the state's only black congressman. When challenged, Smaltz responded with the same answer.
These maps are entirely focused on creating a political advantage for Republicans in the coming congressional election.
Smaltz defended the bill, saying the proposed maps reflect Indiana as a whole, and his main priorities while drawing the map was keeping counties and townships whole. Democrats fired back.
You obviously failed in Marion County, right? Because that's not whole.
I think there's, I think I'd have to concede that Marion County is one of the counties that is divided.
You maniacs! You blew it up! Damn you! Damn you all to hell!
It's clear to anyone that is paying attention, these maps do not serve Hoosiers. They are not supported by Hoosiers, and ultimately it would result in a less responsive Republican Party than we already have by guaranteeing more Jefferson Shreve-esque rhinos, safe districts, and that is not the way to solve the problems in this state. And you need to hold your elected officials accountable, and you need to hold dear the vision that our founders had laid out for us of a representative democracy. The clarion call, no taxation without representation. And as much as I hate to admit it, Indianapolis and the people who live here are assuredly blue. If you wish to change the direction of the city, you will have to win on the battleground of ideas. That is the very heart of why this nation was founded and why I oppose rewarding rhino Republicans with gerrymandered districts. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Coming up next, I'm going to talk about a shocking injustice for the history of Indianapolis and a slap to the face for this station, WIBC, because one of our longtime broadcasters, and this goes back a few years, this was Fred Heckman, the news director for WIBC when it was on 1070 AM, served the station for 32 years, including one of its most noteworthy times during the Tony Kiritsis crisis, when Tony Kiritsis marched around Dick Hall, downtown Indianapolis, for 63 hours at the end of a shotgun, and now Fred Heckman is being erased. I'll tell you more about that coming up next. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
Come on now, wake up. The news doesn't wait, and you've got things to do.
It's unclear where exactly the company will place their headquarters, but it's expected to bring 5,000 new jobs to Indiana.
Everything is stopped going into Indiana's second busiest interchange at northbound 65. Stop.
My morning routine is pretty simple. Coffee, keys, WIBC.
Let's get cooking, boo-boo. Tony Katz in the Morning News. Morning 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC.
Football is back, and so are great hairlines. We Grow Hair Indy has helped former local professional football players get back in the game with full natural hair. You don't have to play pro ball to get pro-level results. Hey, it's Rob, and I knew I picked the right team when I needed a Hail Mary for my hair. I called We Grow Hair Indy. Whether you're tailgating, coaching, or watching from the couch, do it with confidence. Trade the sidelines for a hairline. Get back in the game at We Grow Hair Indy. Schedule your free evaluation today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. Enjoy being out and about this fall. Enjoy watching the games in person with your friends with confidence you haven't had in years. And you can do it with a trip to We Grow Hair Indy. 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
As an IT professional, you have the opportunity to guarantee your data security, participate in 100% landfill-free disposal, and have peace of mind with R2 V3 certifications. Technology Recyclers provides guaranteed complete data destruction, 100% landfill-free disposal, and the certification to back it up. Protect your data while saving the planet. Receive a free pickup of your e-waste from Technology Recyclers. Visit tech-recyclers.com. That's tech-recyclers.com.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
JMV here. This holiday season, make your home magical with Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. Sparkling Christmas trees, glowing holiday decorations, show-stopping fresh greenery, and trees for inside and out. Sundown and Miss M's has everything you need to turn your home into a winter wonderland. Visit them for wonderful Christmas gifts, delectable chocolates, live trees, wreaths, and more. Come in and get inspired and let the holiday spirit ring. Sundown Gardens, 186th and Spring Mill in Westfield. Miss M's on State Road 135 in Bargersville.
Attention Indiana homeowners, are you dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new, no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swain Co., Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
It's B Windows' biggest sale of the year. Get up to 68% off plus no interest, no payments for 24 months. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
Indy Humane. Find your new best friend today. Visit indyhumane.org. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give it a cry, say live and let die.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
I couldn't believe this, producer Gavin. This made me so mad when I saw the commercial for Dead Man's Wire that's getting ready to release January of next year. Welcome back to the show. This is Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, and that's producer Gavin on the board. Okay, so you're familiar with the Tony Karitsa's kidnapping downtown, and I think it was 1970s, 77.
Yeah.
Okay, they are getting ready to make this into a Hollywood movie. And at first, I was so excited to see Indianapolis represented, and most of all, because I knew Fred Heckman was right at the center of the story. He was the longtime news director here at WIBC when it was on 1070 AM, a very storied individual and noted around the city of Indianapolis, a beloved character. And he was right there, right at the center between Tony Karitsis, Dick Hall, and then he was calling and conversing with Fred Heckman on the air quite extensively. So they are turning these dramatic events into a movie that's being released by and directed by Gus Van Sant called Dead Man's Wire. And I saw the commercial for this playing on YouTube, but they made some core changes, shall we say, to the character of Fred Heckman, who has basically been erased from this tale. And here's an excerpt from the trailer itself. See if you can pick up on this.
What are you here in Indianapolis? It is Tuesday, February 8th. I'm DJ Fred Temple. I thank you for listening.
Mr. Temple, sir, you have a caller?
I have dinner in 30 minutes is what I have.
That Tony Kuritz's fella's on the line and he's asking to speak to you. The guy with the shotgun in the man's neck.
You should open with that, James.
Bad times coming and I reap what I done sow.
Hello, Mr. Kuritzis.
It's an honor, Fred.
What's on your mind, brother?
This loan company's done me wrong.
They set me up and schemed to ruin my life.
Well, let me tell you something.
I'm not a rich man. I'm a poor man, and that never bothered me. I'm a man that's fighting for everything that he owns, sir.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the is that?
Maybe you didn't catch that, but Fred Heckman is gone, and in his place is now a character by the name of Fred Temple, and this is portrayed by an actor named Coleman Domingo. I'm not especially familiar with his career. I'm sure he is a perfectly adequate actor, but Coleman Domingo is a black man. And Fred Heckman was very much a white middle-aged man. And I'm not saying that to be racial. It's just a statement as fact. It is as true as to say that Fred Heckman was a male and not a female. He was a white person, not an Asian person, not an Indian person, not a black person. He was a white person. And I don't know what other to call this than blackwashing, because Fred Heckman was a real person that actually existed, who was not an ancillary character. He was right at the center of this event. And let's imagine for a moment if this had been the roles were reversed. If Fred Heckman had been a noted and beloved black news director of WIBC in 1970s Indianapolis, and for unknown reasons, the director had decided to recast this historical figure as a white man, there would be hell to pay. There would be unilateral condemnation. There would be multiple segments about this covered from the national media, and yet unfortunately, we are hearing nothing about the erasure of the very real person, Fred Heckman, who is at the center of this story. What's worse is the cartoonish direction, and I don't blame Coleman Domingo as the actor for this. I blame the writers. I blame the director for taking it in this direction. But I feel like he's playing Robert Downey Jr.'s character from Tropic Thunder as Fred Heckman in this movie. The way that, they said, "Oh, you should have led with that shiz. What's on your mind, brother?" Who talks like this? That is cartoonish, just like as if it was Robert Downey Jr.'s character, except that was supposed to be a critique of what's going on here, and they embraced it.
Y'all might be in for a treat. Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patio. I made some crab apples for dessert now, yeah? Hey, yeah! Ha!
Hell yeah! Ha! That's how we all talk. We all talk like this, huh? This, huh? Yeah, get some crawfish and some ribs, ha! Yeah! You're Australian! Be Australian!
I have been raised my entire life under the premise that racial recasting, particularly of historical characters, was unacceptable. It's called whitewashing when it goes the other direction, and we have, as a culture, have moved beyond it. Like in the past, when casting decisions such as John Wayne playing the role of Genghis Khan, which was not his best role and not the most memorable movie, because that was not a very accurate depiction of a very real historical person. Well, Fred Heckman, much like that, is a very real historical person. And this tinkering with the character and makeup of Fred Heckman, I find especially offensive because he is part and parcel with the history of WIBC. So I went from being extremely excited about this movie adaptation of one of the most noteworthy events to take place in the city over the last 50 years to being very unexcited about it, and I can't support this. And it gets worse because not only did they erase Fred Heckman, but they have erased the city of Indianapolis. This was shot in Louisville. So Indianapolis is the basis of this movie, and they shot it in another Midwestern city. Now, I understand the General Assembly has been slow to give tax breaks and tax credits to movie productions that are shot here in the state. And yeah, I think we should absolutely do something about that. But you're telling me that they couldn't send a crew out to get some B-roll of just streets around the city. Just get some, exterior shots of buildings that still exist and existed at the time when Tony Karitzis was marching around Dick Hall at the end of a shotgun here in Indianapolis. The whole thing I find grossly offensive, and we all know that if the roles had been reversed, if Fred Heckman had in fact been a beloved black newscaster here in the city of Indianapolis and they had racially recast to a white person, there would be unending unilateral condemnation of that. And I think that we should similarly condemn the needless recasting here. I would love to talk to some members of the Heckman family. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Heckman family said that they don't want his name and likeness to be used in this motion picture for one reason or another. I'm not sure, but I can't imagine that they would accept that. And supposedly this was also consulted with people who knew Fred Heckman, Alan Berry and Mark Enochs, who was supposed to be a friend of Fred Heckman. And I don't know how you as a friend would be able to sit through that and step aside and accept the racial recasting and the renaming of a very real person who is at the center of this story. That's unacceptable, and I'm not sure what else to call it except blackwashing in modern Hollywood. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We got more show on the way. Up next is The Sound Dump. Don't miss it.
Kendall and Casey.
Trying to get out of the grocery store to purchase anything that resembles a week's worth of food. Between the Walmart and Costco trip, it was like almost $280. How is this sustainable for most normal people?
Well, you're going to have to start taking a 50-year loan for groceries. And, of course, we've all got those utility bills.
Are they high? Is there something going on with utilities?
Kendall and Casey. Weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Not only did daylight saving time shorten your hours of sunlight, but it also shortened your to-do list. You're free from things like lawn care, gardening, and frequent pool and grill maintenance. Have you been ignoring your drywall cracks, uneven, sagging, or bouncy floors, sticking windows and doors, bugs and pests, wet basement, or heightened indoor allergies? Don't worry. With a free inspection from Indiana Foundation Service, you can find out what you need to do to protect your home and your family by pinpointing your home's issues at the source. Indiana Foundation Service has flexible financing plans for you to take advantage of, saving you money that you can spend elsewhere. Indiana Foundation Service wants you to feel comfortable in fixing your problems and making a solid investment towards your home's future. Just visit IndianaFoundation.com today and schedule these local experts to come take a quick look. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years.
Options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
I'm Angelo Bavaro. The Supreme Court agreed to take up President Trump's order on birthright citizenship.
Trump's order not to grant American citizenship to children born to people in the U.S. illegally or temporarily was struck down by a lower court. Birthright citizenship, which is part of the 14th Amendment, is the first Trump immigration-related policy to reach the high court for a final ruling.
Fox's Chanley Painter. President Trump hosting the Kennedy Center Honor Wreath tonight for a medal presentation ceremony.
As President of the United States and the Chairman of the Board of the Kennedy Center, it's a privilege to pay tribute to the very best in American arts and culture. And that's what you have beside me. They are incredible people.
Among those recipients, actor Sylvester Stallone and rock band Kiss. America is listening to Fox News.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle. Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Indiana. T&Cs apply.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
When our folks have gone to bed, we stay until we're almost dead. We're happy, hearted, rouse the
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, where it's time once again to don your handy-dandy hazmat suit as we wade through another week in news, beginning with a crime wave across North Carolina, repeating the pattern of lenient catch-and-release judicial system embraced by proponents of so-called restorative justice. And instead of being concerned with the safety of citizens, officials are instead concerned about their own workloads being finally forced to deal with the violent reprobates of the state, thanks to the newly implemented Arenas law limiting magistrates' freedom to release repeat offenders on society. You'll also hear about the hairstyle racism in Pennsylvania and another hilarious failure of Joe Biden. All this heard for tonight's edition of The Sound Dump.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage truck.
It's the Saturday Night Sound Dump on 93 WIBC.
I take you to the dump. I show you the sights, you know you wanna ride. I'm a garbage truck. Truck.
This is Saturday Night on The Circle, where I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, and that's producer Gavin on the board, beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. We begin with an overview of North Carolina, who finds themselves dealing with similar circumstances that we face here in the city of Indianapolis, with repeat offenders released to reoffend on society, thanks to a lenient approach of the judicial system that has been infected with leftism. And you'll hear this first news report about a 15-year-old child with more than 111 arrests dating back to at least 2023. Multiple thefts, carjackings, you name it, the works. And it doesn't end there.
15-year-old who has been arrested 111 times since August of 2023. Arrests included 55 car thefts and stealing from cars 45 times. At one point, police found multiple guns on the teen and took a phone as evidence. They say they found various Google searches on it, including, what is the charge for killing an officer? Is police murder a charge? And what is capital murder? Police say the 15-year-old was most recently released again in September.
You just can't just say, we're going to let you back out to your mom or to your home if the home is broken, without holding the home accountable. There's no accountability right now.
CMPD says the repeat offender problem extends to adults, too. Timothy Massey has faced multiple charges this year and given bond for all of them. One included possession of a weapon of mass destruction, which allegedly ended up being an altered pistol that could fire automatically. Most recently, he's accused of shooting into motel rooms and cars on Reagan Drive, just steps from where Robinson says problems persist. He was given a $50,000 bond for that charge.
You got a court system that's just letting everybody out as soon as they lock them up. And so, you know, it's almost, what's the point of even having a court system? You're just going to let everybody go.
It's a joke. It's all a joke.
111 arrests. Now, it doesn't matter how young they are, because 15 years old is certainly pretty young to be accused of such serious crimes, but at what point do these judges and these prosecutors look at these repeat offenders and say, you know what? 110 times is enough. We're just going to throw them in jail. Instead, you know, they release them and give them an 111th chance or 112th chance. Fortunately, Arenas law is seeking to rectify that situation, limiting the freedom of magistrates and judges to release these ridiculous repeat offenders on society. This time, an 18-year-old is being held, thanks to Arenas law, on a $5 million bond. Let's see, what is it? A $5.3 million million bond after being charged for more than 16 shootings across the city of Charlotte. How similar does that sound to what we see right here in Indianapolis?
This morning, a Charlotte teen accused in a series of shootings into homes is now in jail on a $5.3 million bond. Officers first arrested Daquan Mills last month for a shooting on Redwood Drive. He was also charged for a second shooting while in custody.
Investigators say that's on top of 2 other prior arrests that Mills had for other charges. He's currently accused of crimes ranging from damage to property to shooting into an occupied dwelling. Now experts say that this could be in part due to the fatal stabbing of Irina Zarutska on the light rail this summer, which sparked national attention. The statewide anti-crime bill dubbed Irina's Law went into effect on Monday.
Go ahead. Make my day.
So in other words, if this young woman hadn't been tragically murdered on the mass transit, then all of these individuals that we've covered so far would just be released to reoffend yet again. At what point do these prosecutors learn from their ways? I mean, I guess they won't be as long as there is zero accountability. I mean, look, it's pretty simple here in the state of Indiana. If a bartender overserves somebody who is noticeably intoxicated and that person later goes on to do harm, then the bartender can be held legally liable. And I think we should examine a similar principle when it comes to judicial officers. If they are giving lenient and uncharacteristically light sentences to individuals who have had multiple bites at the apple with the judicial system, then I think that there should be some accountability that is thrown on these judges and prosecutors and the decisions that they make. And you heard it right there. If it wasn't for Irina's Law, then they wouldn't be holding these individuals on high bonds to begin with. And instead of supporting the safety of the citizens, you have officials in North Carolina who are lamenting Irina's Law because of the labor that it's going to add, because of the workload it's going to add to their lives dealing with these criminal hooligans. Disgusting.
Irina's Law kicks in on December 1st. Lawmakers passed it after Irina Zarutska was murdered on the light rail train back in August.
I believe that the state legislators had a good intention. I believe that when they wrote the law, they were hearing from so many people who were horrified.
The massive bill addresses several topics. It limits a judge's power to release offenders accused of certain violent crimes. The sheriff says that will increase a detention center population that is already near capacity.
Stack of bunks is where we have to put people on these bunk beds, and their families will call in and say they are sleeping on the floor.
County officials expect officer and magistrate workloads will increase.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin. This is serious. I know. This really is the world's smallest violin. See?
Oh, cry me a river that your workloads are going to increase. That's literally what you're paid to do. When you're working for the judicial system, it is your job to deal with these violent offenders, with these ridiculous hooligans and miscreants that are running around our society. And do whatever you got to do. If you got to put them in bunks, if you got to make them sleep on the floor, I don't care. If you got to add on to the prison complex, I don't care. What is unacceptable is releasing these teenagers with 111 arrests, with violent crimes, who are Google searching whether or not they can be charged for murdering police officers. I mean, you know, especially with a criminal history like that, it's only going to continue to escalate unless there is intervention. That's what laws are for. There was also a very scary incident coming out of Vancouver, Washington. They haven't caught up with the perpetrator as of yet, but this was a wife who was leaving work and presumably leaving her relationship when a domestic abuser, her husband, started slamming into her rideshare vehicle, and they called the police. This was scary recording from inside the car.
What the? Oh my God! Connecting you to an emergency response specialist. What the? Emergency notification. Your vehicle, do you need police, fire, medical? Yes, please. My son is ramming us. Okay, I'm calling 911 right now. Yes, please.
thanks to the quick thinking of the driver, both of those ladies were able to get away, but not before almost being pushed off the side of a 20-foot embankment by the person who was the husband of the woman who was ramming into the vehicle. And unfortunately, he is still at large. But what a frightening situation to find yourself in the middle of when a vehicle is being used literally as a deadly weapon. And both of those young ladies are fortunate to be alive. Elsewhere in the fine fruited plains of the United States, you have Governor Shapiro, who is celebrating signing into law the Crown Act to deal with the huge issue of hair discrimination. Check this out. It's ridiculous.
Today, when I sign the Crown Act into law, that will be the next step in making good on that promise of bringing about real freedom for all Pennsylvanians.
This public policy campaign is my brainchild in a nationwide effort I have led since 2018, determining it was necessary to change the law to help redress the long-standing and problematic practice of racial discrimination in the form of hair discrimination. I subsequently developed the national legislative, social impact, and coalition building strategies for this movement because for too long, a myopic notion of professionalism and Eurocentric standards of beauty have perpetuated racial inequity and exclusion. Too many black children have been suspended and missed what should be valuable instruction time because their hair, worn in ways that are aligned with their racial identity, have been deemed a violation of school rules.
I don't want to sound sexist, but women are an absolute disaster and a menace to society.
They also had a hairstylist who was at the bill signing who was talking about clients of hers that had mentioned, oh, you know, I got to cut my dreads, I got to take them down for my job, under the assumption, of course, that this is racial profiling and not a matter of safety procedure. I don't know if any of you guys have seen dreadlocks or long hair get yanked into some complex industrial machinery, but it's not a pretty sight if your scalp is literally yanked out of your head. So I think that if you are required as a matter of law not to discriminate for the sake of safety around heavy machinery, then you should also not be liable or held liable for injuries received if somebody has their scalps ripped out because they have hair that is too long to interface with complex industrial machinery. I mean, look, I have long hair as well. I've never considered it a racial characteristic of myself, and honestly, I'm not sure how you can, because hairstyles have taken multitudes of shapes, of forms, all throughout history, and I don't think that there is a specific racial denominator between how hairstyles have been used across the ages. We do have another clip of Joe Biden. We get so few of these days since he is no longer the president of the United States, thank God. But he was talking at the LGBTQ Victory Institute when he had a little bit of a flub referring to the United States of America.
We just have to get up. As long as we keep the faith, summon hope, and get back up and remember who in the hell we are. We're the United States of America. That's who we are. We're the U.S.
Missed it by that much.
He was close. He was close. The United States. We don't get too much Joe Biden these days. And then also I ran across a hilarious clip. They don't make these in mainstream media anymore. This is 60 Minutes. They did a 3-part series at one point, headed up by Leslie Stahl, Gay or Straight, and this broadcast aired on August 27th of 2006.
They also studied the way gay and straight people talk.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Would you like to have a drink?
Sounds straight to me.
And it's straight. Hi, it's nice to meet you. Do you want to go have a drink?
Gay.
Something tells me Leslie Stahl is not too happy to have that in her career portfolio. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Stay tuned for more on 93 WIBC.
Radiothon.
And I'm here at the phone bank for the Salvation Army.
The 31st annual WIBC Radiothon for the Salvation Army, presented by Financial Center.
It has been such a great ride. I would do anything for the Salvation Army.
Since 1994, your generosity has helped raise millions of dollars that stay here in Central Indiana. Join us December 12th and 13th, doing the most good. The Salvation Army of Central Indiana, Financial Center at 93 WIBC.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
Hi, I'm Scott Wilson, third generation owner of Wilson Farm Market, just 15 minutes north of 465, right on US 31. If you love fried chicken, we've got you covered. Crispy, juicy, made fresh daily, and it comes with sides like mashed potatoes, potato wedges, mac and cheese, and way more. And now through the end of Radiothon, we're donating 10% of all our fried chicken sales to the Salvation Army. Wilson Farm Market, where good taste runs in the family. Just 15 minutes north of 465 on 31.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Mark your calendar for December 9th. St. Philip's Church and Indianapolis Urban League present a drive-through food box and meal distribution. Get fresh produce, meat, and pantry staples. No ID needed. First come, first served. Questions? Call 317-693-7603.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm Ethan Hatcher, your host. And the holiday season is upon us, which means a lot of people are getting Amazon deliveries. But one Amazon delivery driver was not very happy with the idea of walking through a snowy driveway, so he just refused.
I'm not walking to your door. I'm not walking through snow. I don't know what type of hazard lies under the snow. You come to the edge of your driveway and pick up your package. If you know you're getting packages to your house, clear your driveway.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Now, producer Gavin, you were telling me off air that your side hustle is also working as an Amazon delivery driver. So where do you stand with this guy? Do you think that you should be obligated to walk down people's snowy driveways if they haven't cleared them off?
No. I mean,
I'm with you.
Because there's different drivers, you know, like most drivers that you see are called ZL drivers. They do little packages. That guy has probably 300, 400 stops a day in the Christmas season. And if he slips and falls at one of those stops, then that's 300, 400 packages he has to take back and could potentially lose his job. He's injured. Because, I mean...
If you twist your ankle bad enough, you could be out for the day. That's not unreasonable.
Because I specifically work with, like, heavy packages. So anything from, like, 80 to 300 pounds. So it's like, I don't want to carry your pool table across your driveway that's covered in ice, slip and fall, and a 300-pound pool table is now stuck on top of me, you know? And, like... Amazon themselves tell the drivers too, like, if you don't feel safe, then don't deliver it. You can mark it and we'll send it back out whenever the weather's better.
I'm right there with you. Look, it's a matter of common courtesy. If you are having packages delivered, just do the bare minimum. Make sure to clear your driveway. Do a little bit of snow shoveling and do your part. And do your part by staying tuned to Saturday night on The Circle. We got Hour 2 coming up next on 93 WIBC.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
Breathe in the wonder and joy of Christmas, where the extraordinary often shines through the ordinary moments, through kindness, care, and compassion. At Franciscan Health, we provide care rooted in faith, love, and dignity, and believe life is a gift and every moment is extraordinary. So take a breath and give thanks as we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas. Franciscan Health. Love your extraordinary life.
'Twas the night before the holidays, and all through Indiana, not a parent was stressed, nor were grandpa or grandma. The children's gifts were marked off the list. Indiana 529 education savings plans were sure to be a hit. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of their future danced in their heads. Flexible options, a generous tax credit, and a convenient mobile app to help put a bow on it. These Hoosiers slept tight with a gift that would last. Visit myindiana529.com to start with just $10 fast. Read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing.
This holiday season, make your home magical with Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden. From sparkling Christmas trees to glowing holiday decorations and show-stopping fresh greenery and trees for inside and out, Sundown and Miss M's has everything you need to turn your home into a winter wonderland. Visit them for wonderful Christmas gifts, delectable chocolates, live trees, wreaths, and more. Come in, get inspired, and let the holiday spirit ring. Sundown Gardens, 186th and Spring Mill in Westfield. Miss M's on 135 in Barkersville.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swanco 317-407-1868 or swancollc.com.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
The chairman of the board of the Kennedy Center, it's a privilege to pay tribute to the very best in American arts and culture, and that's what you have beside me. They are incredible people.
Among those recipients, actor Sylvester Stallone, members of the rock band Kiss, singers Gloria Gaynor and George Strait, and actor and singer Michael Crawford. The man charged with planting a pair of pipe bombs outside the RNC and DNC headquarters in D.C. back in 2021 appearing in court on Friday.
A brief but revealing court appearance this week for Brian Cole Jr., who told the judge he understood the criminal charges against him. We learned from yesterday's hearing that Cole also sat with investigators for more than 4 hours on Thursday following his arrest. Inside the courtroom, Cole was unshackled, and members of his family called out, "We love you." Multiple sources briefed on the case tell our colleague David Spunt that Cole admitted to planting the bombs, voiced support for President Trump, and expressed doubts about the 2020 presidential election results. This detail is significant because both devices were planted on January 5th, 2021, the night before the Capitol riot.
That is Fox's CB Cotton. President Trump taking action on affordability, signing an executive order to establish food supply chain security task forces in the Justice Department and the Federal Trade Commission. Those groups will address risks from price fixing. President Trump says the goal is to determine whether anti-competitive behavior, especially by foreign-controlled companies, increases the cost of living for Americans. America is listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth speaking at the Reagan National Defense Forum in California today, reiterating the Trump administration's mission of achieving peace through strength. He says in doing so, the U.S. will maintain the best armed forces across the globe.
Make no mistake about it, President Trump is hell-bent on maintaining and accelerating.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Gun violence in Indy. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending this hour. 2 people are dead after being shot early Saturday morning in Indianapolis. A man was struck by gunfire on the city's near east side just before 1 o'clock. Then, just minutes before 7, a woman was shot on the near south side. Both victims were taken to an area hospital where they died. IMPD is investigating. A child molester from Indianapolis sentenced to 30 years in prison this week. John Herrick has more.
His name is James Thomas, and he's 38 years old. Johnson County Prosecutor Lance Hamner says the Johnson County Sheriff's Department started looking into Thomas in August of last year, and what they found was disturbing.
When the victim had asked this defendant to stop the abuse, the response was retaliation by burning a lot of the keepsakes and memorabilia from past sports achievements.
And that's just part of the reason why the judge made Thomas register as a sex offender for life. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Wheeler Mission in Indianapolis says they are getting full as more people are stopping by for shelter during this stretch of cold weather. One night this week, they had 29 women and 50 men in their overflow. Wheeler Mission worker Tanisha Edwards says don't let anything stop you from coming to Wheeler for help if you need it.
Make that phone call. Don't freeze out there. Don't sleep in your car because you don't have to.
You can help Wheeler Mission by donating at their website. And the Colts are on the road in Jacksonville, set to take on the Jaguars on Sunday, who have the same record as Indianapolis but hold the tiebreaker at the moment in the AFC South. Kickoff is at 1. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy skies, precipitation chances will be highest in the morning, focus mainly north. Light snow showers north of I-70 transitions to mix as the day goes on. The southern half of the state will mainly have spotty rain. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Of course, Galaxy Concrete Coatings did an amazing job on my garage floor. My Galaxy Concrete garage floor coating is out of this world. Hey, by the way, Galaxy Concrete Coatings is supporting the Salvation Army Radiothon through my virtual red kettle. They're matching donations up to $1,000 now through December 12th. So help make someone's life a little better. Go to WIBC.com, look for Nigel's virtual red kettle, with Galaxy Concrete Coatings matching up to $1,000. And by the way, Galaxy Concrete Coatings did such an amazing job on my garage floor. I had them back out to my house to come do the concrete floor and the utility room in my basement. They worked a miracle with that thing. There were cracks. It was uneven. It was stained, never maintained. Hey, don't forget Galaxy Concrete Coating matching donations up to $1,000 on my virtual red kettle for Radiothon and the Salvation Army. Go to WIBC.com.
Need to sell your home without the hassle? Sell your home to people you can trust. Call Simple Quarters, 317-900-HOME. Simple Quarters, sponsor of Fill Up in the News with Tony Katz.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on The Circle, where I'm your bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher. Producer Gavin is on the board, and this is hour 2 of the show. If you missed a moment, make sure to catch the podcast on WIBC.com and upload it to my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on The Circle.fireside.fm. This week, we were treated to the good old days of Donald Trump, where he has been feeling especially spicy and getting all the attention from the media for some of the things that he said, especially about the Somalian community in Minnesota following the revelation of more than $1 billion in welfare fraud over COVID that Governor Tim Walz completely overlooked. And now there are dozens in the Somalian community who have been charged and convicted of this fraud. Donald Trump saying, we don't want them in the country, and if they're going to cause this much problems, then they should be sent right back. I tend to agree.
They contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Oh, man. That was totally wicked!
If you have overstayed your visa, if you have immigrated illegally into the country, and especially if you have defrauded the American taxpayer, I don't hesitate in saying that you should be sent back home immediately. But instead of accepting accountability, instead of apologizing for the enormous and short-sighted transgression of his state, Tim Walz instead offloaded responsibility and threw criticism back at Donald Trump, saying that blaming the Somalian community for the crimes committed by members of the Somalian community is just uncalled for.
Speaking of the Somali community, President Trump is targeting them and your state in part. He's citing fraud as the reason for his crackdown. Dozens of people of East African descent have been charged, convicted, and sentenced for stealing more than $1 billion in taxpayer money from government programs during COVID. As you know, Governor, that is more than Minnesota spends each year to run its Department of Corrections. So I want to give you a chance to respond to this. Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. And I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can. But to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few, it's lazy.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
He then proceeded to blame the Trump administration for removing positions of the inspectors general, which he says resulted in the fraud perpetrated in his state, except that there are now reports it appears state agencies were actively complicit by overlooking the enormous and unending fraud that was going on right beneath their noses. And it seems like $1 billion may be the low end of the estimate, with some experts suggesting it could be as high as 8.
Fraud investigators are finding in Minnesota is growing by the day. Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also told lawmakers they believe the total amount of fraud could total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch, but he says they've paused these programs, they've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was, they're taking steps to keep it from happening again, and he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
So I'll tell you what, I have no interest in having this state look like Oklahoma or Mississippi. And if folks are going to commit crimes here, thinking because our generous spirit and our programs that we have is going to give them some kind of cover, they are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, Minnesota is also now home to the single largest pandemic fraud scheme in the country.
I'll never forgive this.
Democrats and the media are rushing to attempt to defend the Somalian community and saying they add an enormous amount to the state of Minnesota at large. KSTP reported that Somalians generate at least $500 million of income annually and pay about $67 million of state and local taxes. Well, let's just do, even if you do believe that, which I happen to not, especially if more than 70% of the community is currently taking in welfare, they probably aren't contributing that much by way of taxes, but let's just assume that their figures are right. Of the $1 billion of fraud that has already been discovered, it would take almost 11 years to pay that back in taxes, not to say anything of now estimates that the fraud could be significantly higher. You already heard that it's the largest in history, the largest welfare fraud in history, and Stephen Miller says that the trail goes even deeper.
Based on what we have found so far, we believe that the Somali fraud operation in Minnesota is the single greatest theft of taxpayer dollars through welfare fraud in American history. We believe that we have only scratched the very top of the surface of how deep this goes. And you're familiar with all the scams with pretending that children have autism who are not in fact autistic, with pretending to enroll people in food programs when in fact nobody was ever enrolled, and engaging in massive fraud, lying, and theft and grift on a scale we've never seen before in American history. The total bill, the total tab for this is going to be far beyond the numbers we've already seen reported. We believe the state government is fully complicit in this scheme, and we believe that what we are going to uncover is going to shock the American people.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Have a lot of criticisms about the Trump administration and how Trump is utilizing his time as president of the United States in his second term at office. But one thing that he was absolutely elected for in 2024 and is doing a good job of delivering on is identifying and exposing fraud and these schemes from illegal immigrants on a broad scale across the country. And I think all of us here support him in his efforts to do exactly that. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. We've got more Saturday Night on the Circle on the way.
Scrolling all day, clickbait everywhere. But the facts, they're harder to find.
WIBC didn't just report the story, they really got into why it matters.
CEO of First American Nuclear believes we're heading into America's nuclear renaissance.
In 100 years, all successful nations will be powered by nuclear reactors. For the sake of our children, I'd like the U.S. to be one of them.
Oh, I check the WIBC website before I even open social media.
Online, on social, on air. Stay in the know while you're on the go with 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company.
As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shank Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers? It's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shank Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shank Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here with a special message from my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Thanks, Pat. Jack Hope here. You know, 2025 was a year of growth for us as we added HVAC and electrical services to our business. This growth was due in large part to customers like you. Your support, your loyalty, and your trust has shaped Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling into who we are today. Thank you for making this year one to remember and for continuing to welcome us into your homes.
It's not just adults who can feel stressed out. Our children feel stressed too. I'm Tammy Silverman of Indiana Youth Institute. Between school demands, maintaining friendships, and expectations from adults, it's no wonder that children sometimes feel stressed out. But unlike adults, experts say children may not be able to recognize stress or know how to cope. Luckily, you can help your child handle the challenges they're facing. Start by making yourself available to talk and be a good listener. Let your child express their views, and when you respond, focus on your child's feelings rather than your own. You can also ask your child what they need from you, whether it's advice or help solving a problem. But if stress is still overwhelming, experts recommend you reach out to a licensed mental health professional to make sure your child gets the support they need and deserve. This Kids Count Minute is a message from Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids Count on you.
Latrell spent more than 8 years in foster care. His world changed when he was adopted at 15 with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
I think about how much we love him, and I wish we could have had him for his entire childhood.
The foundation is changing the lives of thousands of teens waiting in foster care. You can help. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. I was on the verge of being homeless. My house was being foreclosed on. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Visit cdc.gov/RxAwareness.
It's B-Window's biggest sale of the year. Get up to 68% off plus no interest, no payments for 24 months. Call now or go to bwindow.com.
Trust me.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in?
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPC.
Step into my heart.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle, the last official broadcast from Monument Circle in the MS building. I'm going to miss being here. I'm going to miss sights like the wonderful Monument Circle tree, Christmas tree behind me. I'm going to miss seeing all the people congregating. I'm going to miss the food around here, like getting to have lunch at Sushi Boss or picking up soft drinks from the Sky Mart in the Circle Center Mall. Of course, now they're shutting down, too. They're getting ready to be closed, I believe, as of January to do some substantial renovations to the building. They're going to turn it into a multi-use structure and mix in some residential development. That's going to be interesting to see. So things are changing here in downtown Indianapolis. Indianapolis, and we are changing right along with them. We're certainly not leaving you. We are just going to be going to a new building over there on East St. Joseph Street. Of course, I also wanted to continue talking about the enormous fraud that was perpetrated by the Biden administration in support of illegal immigrants across the country in an effort to remake the shape and the demographics of the country. And Joe Biden, this is something that we found out all the way back in April, but for whatever reason, it's just making the rounds on social media again right now. But it was revealed by the Department of Government Efficiency, otherwise known as DOGE, that Biden had doled out more than 4 million Social Security numbers to illegal immigrants across the country, facilitating their integration and illegal labor in the country over the last 4 years of his administration. 4 million Social Security cards being doled out to these people while they awaited their far distant court hearings regarding their immigration status. This reported by Fox.
DOGE exposed our immigration asylum disaster. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now, here's the story. DOGE has found that immigration gave a work authorization document to illegals just 5 months after they filed for asylum. That document allowed them to work while they waited to hear whether their asylum request had been accepted or denied. So they could work as an illegal, knowing it would take years before their case was heard. The Immigration Department mailed them a Social Security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. In 2021, DOGE says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers. 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office.
This will not stand, you know? This aggression will not stand, man.
And whatever you think of Donald Trump, I mean, that is why the American people turned out in such large numbers to push him across the finish line and give him a second bite of the apple, a second term in the White House, because of the fraud that the Biden crime family had perpetrated against the American people, totally betraying their trust in service of foreign agents from abroad. That is unacceptable. And Donald Trump on the campaign trail famously said that if they didn't go ahead and self-deport, they'd be in for a world of hurt, something that he is in fact making good on.
It's pretty funny. Well, I think it's funny, at least. All the illegals, they still think we're stuck with them? No, no, no. You're about to be stuck in here with us. Clock is ticking. Could be a soft tick, could be a loud one, hard to say. A word of advice, though, I'd scream if I were you. Skedaddle. Vamoose, leave while you still can.
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
You're locked in here with me.
Certainly, again, if you're committing crimes against the American people, zero sympathy for that. I'm sorry. That's unacceptable, especially when you have been generously invited to take part in this great country that we have built over the last 200 plus years. You should be an asset, not a detriment. Something that Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, utterly unconcerned about. And in fact, he's more concerned about his feelings because he's upset that people have been driving by his house and calling him retarded. This was after the president of the United States had publicly called the governor of Minnesota retarded. Look, I mean, that's just what the president said. And now he's saying that people are driving by his house and shouting the same thing. Look, if people were driving by my house and calling me retarded, I probably wouldn't talk about it as publicly as Tim Walz is.
Are you okay with the president calling our neighbors garbage? Are you okay with him referring to Minnesota as a hellhole, unfactually untrue? This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. So deeply concerned.
What the f*** is up with that? That's gay. And he's gay as hell.
I mean, you can say the word, Governor Tim. It's not going to hurt you to just say the word. I mean, in addition to being a word in the English language, it's also a musical term, retardando, which means to go slower. And that's what it is. Certainly Tim Walz, he is a little bit slow for being the governor of Minnesota. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle. Coming up next, if you missed it on Thanksgiving, if you were out, I wanted to replay the Thanksgiving trivia that I did with Terry Stacy over the holiday. I would have played it last week, but we were preempted by the Sportsgetball. So that's coming up next, followed by another antique show and tell here on Saturday Night on The Circle, celebrating the history of the penny. Don't miss it. All that on the way on 93 WIBC.
Santa's checking his list, and the Hoosiers keep landing on the nice and nasty list. Nice hustle, nasty from downtown.
And three-pointer on the way. Yes!
Coach Darren DeVries has a workshop full of sharpshooters and high flyers, stacking up wins like gifts under the tree. Grab the cocoa and enjoy some holiday hoops. IU versus Penn State, Tuesday at 8:30 on your home for Hoosiers basketball. 93 WIBC.
The Indianapolis real estate market is strong, but not easy. Now is a good time to sell only if you hire a real estate team that knows how to aggressively market your home, like Mark Dietel Realty. You want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietel is the real estate expert trusted and recommended with the sale of your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts you can cancel at any time. Michael in Speedway says, I loved my Speedway home, and I raised my family there, but it was time to sell and downsize. I met with the Mark Dietel team, and they explained their amazing marketing plan, and I was convinced. Just like the Speedway, things moved fast from there. After just 3 days on the market, I accepted an offer for $11,000 over asking price. Call the local Indianapolis agent, trusted and recommended. The agent who guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. That's Mark Dietel. Call today, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Over the last few years, things have gotten weird.
And for our kids, these things can be overwhelmingly stressful.
Scientific research and real-life experience
tell us that the number one antidote to stress is authentic, trusted relationships.
So that's why I
am committed to building and maintaining a trusted space.
This is a trusted space.
Access free films and resources to build trusted spaces in your schools and communities at atrustedspace.org.
I'm Angelo Bavaro. The Supreme Court agreeing to take up President Trump's order on birthright citizenship.
Trump's order not to grant American citizenship to children born to people in the U.S. illegally or temporarily was struck down by a lower court. Birthright citizenship, which is part of the 14th Amendment, is the first Trump immigration-related policy to reach the high court for a final ruling.
Fox's Chanley Painter. President Trump hosting the Kennedy Center honorees tonight for a medal presentation ceremony.
As President of the United States and the Chairman of the Board of the Kennedy Center, it's a privilege to pay tribute to the very best in American arts and culture. And that's what you have beside me. They are incredible people.
Among those recipients, actor Sylvester Stallone and rock band Kiss. America is listening to Fox News.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Holiday mess? In-laws coming? Start 2026 clean with Zero-Res. Carpets, air ducts, upholstery, and more. 317-388-5141. ZeroResIndy.com.
Look through your children's eyes, and you will discover the true magic of a forest. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPC.
For a couple of hours.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle, where I'm your bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher. Happy holidays to everybody. We just got done with a fantastic Thanksgiving Thursday, although I had some rather dramatic developments at the properties. I don't want to get into that. I did have a wonderful experience at Cracker Barrel having Thanksgiving with Dad, though, when I got to run into listener Mike, who actually recognized my voice, and I just thought that was cool as hell. And hey, Dad was super impressed that anybody even managed to recognize me from radio at all. I wanted to play this segment last week so it would be a little bit more timely, but I was preempted by the Sportsketball, so we're about a week late, but hey, you can live with it. I sat down with Terry Stacy for a bit of Thanksgiving Day trivia. I thought it was fun, and I wanted to share it with you.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this Thanksgiving Day. Terry Stacy, Denny Smith is here. He's stopped by. Kylan Talley producing the show.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Ethan Hatcher has stopped by for a few minutes. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Terry.
You guys want to play a little Thanksgiving? Which came first? Is my job to make Kylan look good by being wrong?
Is this a philosophical debate like the chicken and the egg?
Yeah, because I really don't have all the dates.
Okay.
I've done my best. We're ready. We'll do our best, and somebody's going to get a prize. Okay.
Is it pumpkin pie?
I hope it's...
Denny, you're going down.
Well, I was trying to make you look good, Sweet Pea.
I'm ready.
Which came first? The chicken. The Macy's Parade or the first NFL game of football played on Thanksgiving? I'm going with the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade.
Yeah.
American football game.
Really?
Yeah.
I should have said it.
Don't have a date,
I was
though.
sitting here thinking it.
I know the parade Whatever was we in say, you go 1924.
Wait. You don't have a date. Then how do you know it was first?
Well, because I bought this on Etsy for $1.
Okay.
And they
Well,
said
maybe
it was
lied.
true.
All right, here we Wait a go. Which came first, cranberry sauce or canned pumpkin?
Cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce is correct.
Yeah, because pumpkins
I was
took a while
going to say
to
canned pumpkin, so I'm going to give that one to Kai. So, all right. Which came first, again, canned cranberry sauce or the electric oven?
Canned cranberry sauce? Mm-hmm. Or the electric oven?
I would say the electric oven. Electric oven is correct. 1896. Yeah.
But canning technology is older than that. It just took them a while to put cranberries in it.
Which came first? Hey, wait a minute. What type of historian are you over there? We're playing a game here. Okay. All right, which came first, canned green beans or green bean casserole? Blah.
Green bean casserole?
No, I'd say canned green beans.
Really?
Surely the green bean. Canned green beans?
Yep. 1910.
Okay.
1910.
Really? I bet there was some grandma making green bean casserole.
Is such a
Come
simple
on.
idea. You'd think that would predate putting the green beans in a
See,
can.
thank you.
All right.
Just let's
Thank you.
shove a bunch
All right,
of schmutz
Terry.
together and make
Wait, how
casserole.
much did you pay for this on Etsy?
Calm
$1.
down.
You got overcharged. Which came first, the wishbone tradition or Thanksgiving holiday itself?
Wishbone tradition.
The wishbone tradition is right. That
What?
shocked me.
How did you know
800
that?
BC.
Yeah.
They were doing it back in 800 BC.
Yeah, people had a thing for
Why?
bones back then.
Do you know what it's
okay,
also
that's
known
fair,
as?
but why
It's
the
also known as the
wishbone?
pulley bone.
The
The wishbone is also known as the pulley bone. The pulley bone. Yeah, the pulley bone. You know, because you pull. Oh, it apart, because you pull and it. whoever gets the
Oh.
bigger part is Right. wins.
That's what she said.
Yeah, work with me here. Which came first, Here's our Thanksgiving which came first game. Presidential turkey pardon or the frozen turkey TV dinner?
Frozen turkey.
Oh, well,
I would say the
turkey.
Really? Okay, I think she's shaking her head. I would say the pardon, but...
You think the pardon came first,
I was going to say the frozen turkey. And if I'm with Ethan, then heck yeah.
Yeah, frozen turkey.
Frozen turkey dinner came first, 1953. The first presidential turkey pardon came in 1989.
Yeah, because presidents didn't become wussies until after the 60s.
Who was the first president to pardon a turkey? Terry, do you know who the first president was to pardon a turkey?
That would have been in 1989. Probably would it was it? That was Reagan, right?
No, 88. So it was Bush.
It was
Bush. After Reagan came the clown from Arkansas.
No, it was Bush and then the clown from Arkansas.
All right. Well.
It didn't come with my game.
Because remember, it was a 3.
Yeah, Bush was with the CIA. That turkey must have had something on him.
Well,
he was on Epstein's Island.
This says,
not on Thanksgiving.
This says that the tradition of a White House ceremony of... Well, no, that's receiving a live turkey. That's not...
No, this is actually pardoning the turkey. Not till 1989.
Yeah, that's a modern thing.
Well, in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln was credited with saving a turkey. How about that?
He was the one that established Thanksgiving.
I think they all saved the turkey.
He was like a pre-Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay, John F. Kennedy is credited as the first to pardon a turkey.
Okay. Oh, really?
Well, that's 63
Well, no, that
or
was
60.
in 60-something.
This says officially. It is said
so
in
they lied on the
1963.
Etsy list.
Terry, demand your dollar back from Etsy. This is ridiculous.
I went down a turkey.
Their facts are wrong. You got us a faulty list, Terry.
It's just $1.
Just $1. Well, you know, $1's $1.
Oh, okay. Let me rewind a little bit. Some history of pardoning a turkey that you didn't ask for. John F. Kennedy spared the life of a turkey. It wore a sign around its neck saying, "Good eating, Mr. President." And instead, Kennedy turned to it and said, "We'll just let this one grow. It's our Thanksgiving present to him." So he was the first one to spare the life, but then George W. Bush was the first one to officially pardon a turkey. There you go. There's the whole thing.
Okay, which came first? Ready?
Ready.
The Butterball Turkey Hotline or the Macy's Parade Balloons? Adding balloons to the parade.
I would say the balloons because the Butterball Hotline, not everybody would call a long-distance number.
No, you're right. It's a good one.
Yeah,
So
no, that's a good point.
Macy's Parade Balloons. They came into the parade in 1924. The Butterball Turkey Hotline, not till 1981.
Yeah, phones would still be a novelty in the 20s.
What year did they come up with the pop-up thermometer when the turkey was done? The pop-up.
Oh, that's been a lifesaver for me.
Yeah.
For
was a lifesaver
to cook. It has been a lifesaver. Which came first, stuffing with bread or mashed potatoes?
Mashed potatoes.
Stuffing with bread.
Stuffing with bread is correct, and mashed potatoes were actually here in 1747.
Yep,
that's before garbage
So
disposal.
stuffing with bread was even earlier.
Because not all these vegetables, I mean, we live in a world where we have all access to all the vegetables, but they had to migrate for like a long way. Like fruits the oranges came from India. They got all the way to Florida somehow.
You paid $1 for this?
Uh-huh.
Man, somebody
Which came
saw you
first,
coming.
potatoes in America or corn in America?
Corn, mice.
Yeah,
everybody's going with corn. Yeah, you're right. Corn.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah, no.
I learned that one in my history class.
Yeah.
Which came first, frozen turkeys or stovetop stuffing?
Frozen turkeys.
I don't know. Frozen turkeys. We didn't have refrigeration until Carrier developed that in the early 1900s. I'd say
They could have put it on ice, though. They had ice boxes.
Poor turkeys. Imagine sitting on it. I'm going to, just to be contrarian here, I'm going to say stovetop stuffing.
1972 was stovetop. Frozen turkeys much sooner, much earlier.
Okay.
Much earlier.
Don't give me that sneer, Missy. You paid $1 for a bogus test.
Which came first, the Christmas holiday or Thanksgiving holiday, like officially?
Thanksgiving? I would think so. I mean, even Scrooge let his clerk off on Christmas Day.
Yep. Let's see. What about one more thing? The phrase Turkey Day or the phrase Black Friday?
Oh.
Turkey Day.
Turkey. No, wait, no. Black Friday used to be a religious thing, wasn't it?
No, Black Friday was when everybody went into the black. They've been in the red. The retailers have been in the red up until that point, and they finally got to.
That's the modern thing, though.
It's going to be a whole debate, Terry.
No, I think there was a religious connotation, and then it became financial.
But it was
Now
a
I'm
present.
gonna have to look
Wait,
up the history of
Terry,
Black Friday.
This is a dumb test.
It's not. It's not. It's
Okay,
not.
which one was first?
The first one was Turkey Day.
Turkey Day.
See, look,
Turkey
I'm wrong.
Day
I don't know what I'm
came
talking about.
First. Okay, let's see. Anything else? Let's see. The first balloon in the parade or the first TV broadcast of the parade? I told you earlier when the first balloon came into play.
What was the first balloon? Was that
the
Felix
first
the Cat?
balloon? You don't remember?
It was the 20s, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
1924.
Was it Felix the Cat?
Now that's a great question. It's not on my
I'm
list.
trying to remember
Betty
who it
Boop.
was.
They were very risque.
You can't say boop on the radio. We're going to get canned here, man.
I watched a video that's making its way around again of Barney in the Macy's Day Parade,
Yeah.
and the handler's trying to hold him down during a really strong wind and couldn't, and he hit a light post, and then he just
got
deflated in
punctured.
front of
Yeah.
everybody.
Good
New
work,
sad
Denny.
music.
Children were
my God.
horrified.
Felix
Handlers
the
are
Cat.
screaming.
It was Felix the Cat.
Felix
See?
the Cat,
The
1927.
plumber scored.
Was it?
Was Felix the Cat.
Felix the
by
Cat.
golly.
Okay, so it was the first balloon in the parade. Actually, it was before the first TV broadcast of the parade.
So who won?
Nobody. I won
we
because
all lose.
You
I
won.
had the answers.
Because you had us going at each other's turkey throats.
Well, Kylan had a birthday last week, about 10 days ago. Let's give it to Kylan.
Can I get surprised?
Aw.
There we go.
Happy birthday,
belated
Erica.
birthday.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Do I
Thanksgiving.
win some pumpkin pie?
Terry, that was
You're
fun.
after that pie.
I am. I'm ready to go home and eat it.
And we've got to run. We are so grateful that you joined us today. Thanksgiving is such a time of reflection, right, for all of our blessings, and all of you that have supported us here at WIBC count for so very much. I hope your Thanksgiving table is full of your favorite foods and surrounded by your favorite people. I am at this very moment surrounded by one of my very favorites, Kylan Talley. Thank you. I'm grateful.
We're thankful for all of you.
Yep.
Truly.
I love all three of those people. Terry, Denny, Kylan, all three are as sweet as can be. And so it's always a pleasure anytime I can spend with them on the radio doing a segment. Speaking of which, we actually have another segment coming up with Terry. This is a recurring segment that we've done. Antique Show and Tell is coming up next on 93 WIBC. Don't miss it. This is Saturday Night on The Circle.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Fall in Indiana is prep season, the smart time to get your home ready before the temperatures drop and the snow gets here. Because here's the truth. Roof, siding, gutter, and window problems don't fix themselves. One missing shingle turns into a bad leak. Clogged gutters lead to ice dams. And drafty siding or bad insulation means sky-high heating bills all winter long. That's why you need Moss Roofing. Family owned right here in Indiana for over 30 years, Moss Roofing gives you a free, no-obligation inspection. They'll spot problems now, before the cold settles in, so you're not scrambling in January. And here's a bonus. Thanks to new energy tax credits and Indiana Energy Saver rebates, you can save big on insulation and efficiency upgrades. That's money back in your pocket while protecting your home. So don't wait. Call Moss Roofing today at 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing. 747-3665 or online at mossroofing.com. Get your home winter ready this fall with people you can trust. mossroofing.com every shingle time.
The holidays are the most wonderful time of the year, and let's be honest, between travel, to-do lists, and year-end everything, it can get overwhelming. Now add retirement planning to the mix? Not a chance. Here's the good news. Retirement planning doesn't have to be stressful. At Howard Bailey Financial, our team simplifies the process, listens to your goals, and helps you take your next retirement steps with more confidence. So while you're wrapping gifts and planning get-togethers, let Howard Bailey Financial help you wrap up your retirement plan. Get started today by texting WRAP to 888-494-5004 to download your free retirement toolkit. That's WRAP to 888-494-5004. Because financial confidence doesn't just belong under the tree, it belongs in your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. See disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Attention Indiana homeowners. Are you dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl-space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swanco, Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swancollc.com.
KC and the Sunshine Band, live at Old National Center, January 23rd at 7:30 p.m. It's the ultimate throwback party. Get your tickets today at WIBC.com.
Tumble out of bed and stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping out on the street.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Working 9 to 5.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the one and only Saturday Night on the Circle, 93 WIBC. And I can't believe that if everything goes according to plan, this will be the last official broadcast off of Monument Circle in the Emmis building. I know I'm just as torn up about it as you are. So many memories have taken place in this building over the last 10 years that I've been working with WIBC and the last 6 years that we have been doing this show on Saturday evening. It will not be ending. It will merely be moving. We are going to a new broadcasting building over on East St. Joseph Street. That's what Radio 1 has had in the works ever since they purchased our station. So it's going to be a bit of a change of pace, but I think things will be changing for the better. I've gotten to see the structure that we're in, the studios that we'll be broadcasting from. It's all top-notch, all new equipment. We've got some new software for the broadcasters, for the producers who are going to be working behind the board, and I think it's all looking very good. It's going to be a bit of a rush transition, but we'll be here every step of the way. And thank you for listening to my show and continuing to support the program on Saturday evenings. It means the world to me. If you missed a moment of the show, also make sure to catch my podcasts uploaded to WIBC.com and Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. That's my personal podcasting page where you can find the show uploaded each and every week. One of the segments that I've been doing over the past few months now, a recurring bit on the First Day show with Terry Stacy, is Antique Show and Tell. And a couple of weeks ago, in commemoration of the United States Treasury ending production of the penny, I brought in an interesting antique from the United Kingdom, which itself has a small footnote in the history of the penny, and I'll share it with you this evening.
Ethan Hatcher is here, and ladies and gentlemen, it's time for First Day Show and Tell with Ethan Hatcher, who you hear on Saturday nights right here, Saturday Nights on the Circle on WIBC. Hi, Ethan.
Hey, Terry, Denny, and Kylan. Happy to be here again.
I know you wanted to be a surgical nurse, but this probably, now that you've heard, you probably are out. Right?
Yeah, you know, I was really aching for that, to go back to college.
I know. I know. Hey,
no joke, I used to have nightmares about having to go back to college. I would, imagine that there was something wrong with my degree and I had to go back and take a miscellaneous class, and I'm like, no, please, God, don't send me back to college.
I don't think I could sit still for a minute in any room. I mean, I try. I'm up and down here in this room for 2 hours. I'm up at least 15 times.
You're like a ferret on speed. You know, you're really moving all the time.
How many ferrets have you put on speed, Danny?
I'm just telling you, this woman is on the move.
I just am moving. Ethan, what do you have for us today in your collection of cool things?
Well, I thought since the Treasury officially ended production of the penny after more than 200 years of history here in the United States, on November 12th this year, they stopped production. So this is a numismatic antique. This is the 1844 model penny from the United Kingdom. And this is the Victoria model penny. I'll hold it up to the camera here. Can you see it, Kylan?
Back off just a little bit.
Go down just a yeah, perfect.
There we go.
That's perfect.
That way you can see it right up there in the camera.
Wow, that's so cool, Ethan. How long have you had this precious gem?
I've had this for a couple years now. This was produced between the years of 1844 and 1848. It actually represents a pretty considerable numismatic innovation because of the bimetallic nature. Here, I'll hand that to you.
Which was very rare in numismatics.
Yes, especially at that time. It was a kind of a new innovation, and it was to address the weight of the copper penny because these things were so heavy, and the British Empire in the mid-19th century was so large, it was a considerable expense just to be lugging these things around. Kind of a similar problem that the United States Treasury was attempting to address.
I remember as a kid, we all had those little blue books, and we all had our penny collections, our nickels and reporters, and I remember that everybody's dream was to get to the 1909 Lincoln VDBS. That was the first of the pennies, 1909, or the Lincoln penny.
Sure.
And we all dreamed of getting that. We would go through tons and tons of pennies. Now I hear that they're selling pennies on eBay because they say they're not going to make pennies anymore.
And of course, the steel pennies during the war years of World War
41
II.
through 43.
A steel penny?
Yeah,
Was it the size of a copper penny?
They are the exact same size, except they were pressed out of steel because they needed copper for the war effort.
For the bullets.
That's got to be worth something for the bullets.
That's what that was for.
Was it for?
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be worth something if you've got something like that, right?
I think any numismatics. I don't know if there's as many knucklehead coin collectors as there used to be.
There are still quite a lot of coin collectors, but the name of the game is rarity. Everybody wants the coin that nobody else can get, so the more common the coins are, the less valuable they tend to be. And there
sort
are
of
still
like radio people,
right.
You know?
That's why we're paid pennies on the dollar.
That's why we're paid pennies on the dollar. You got that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So
Ethan.
this was made by the metallurgist Joseph Moore, and it was produced by his company Joseph Moore Limited, like I said, between 1844 and 1848. He was attempting to negotiate with the Treasury, or I should say the Royal Mint, because they were trying to explore different options with the penny at this time, but he got a little bit too big for his britches, and he produced so many of these that they became circulated in just around people's shops, and the Royal Mint had to produce a decree that said, hey, we didn't make these things. They're not official currency, but they were very popular, and they ultimately went a different direction because he kind of exceeded his station. We know how formal mid-19th century Britain tended to be.
All right, you got another coin there. What's this other coin?
We're not supposed to be talking about that, Uncle Denny. This came from Uncle Adolf.
Uncle Adolf. I saw it, and I thought, coins are coins. We can talk about history no matter who the knucklehead was. I mean, you've seen the coins from ancient Spain, and you've seen the coins from Italy, where we had Mussolini and everybody else on them.
Sure.
It's okay. So is there a market for what we call obscene coins?
Oh,
like
yeah.
From Nazi Germany?
There is still a market for that. Of course, the market is limited because, this stuff tends to make people uncomfortable, just, even being associated with it. I am intrigued because of the historical nature, and then we can't forget the terrible atrocities that were committed during World War II.
What do we
this
do
is
with
an echo of history.
Real quick, I have an ancient Nazi dagger that my great-uncle Bob, who was in England at the time, got from a German officer. Yeah. And it's sort of a pariah in the family. My brother doesn't want it. I've got it because it came from my dad. And what do you do with stuff like that? Is there a market for these things?
There is a market, but it should having antiques like that. What I love about all antiques is they tell a story, and ugly antiques like that force us to confront the uglier parts of our history, so that way we can learn and hopefully never repeat them again.
I might want to send that to the scrappers.
Well,
the scrappers.
A lot of people have, but I will advise against that because it actually increases the value of other antiques for people who have.
I might bring that in
New
sometime.
York made a huge mistake when they did that. They had a public crushing ceremony for ivory in Central Park, and it just increased the demand for ivory. But in the process, they smashed fabulous antiques, which was just a shame.
All right.
Before we let you go, so obviously we're not making pennies anymore. How long does it take for a penny then to become a collectible, to where there is a value? Will we ever see it?
You're kind of gambling on that, especially with modern currency. There is a collectible market even for modern coins. People are, right now in the process of hoarding pennies because of the prospective value. It's always a game of rarity. The more there are, the less they're worth. That's how it works with coins.
That's the formula right there.
Yeah, but
isn't that the formula for people too?
Yeah,
not my lifetime.
The less they're worth. Yeah.
Well, that's why you want to be an irreplaceable talent, which I hope to be here on WIBC. Because nobody's talking to Bandy.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Like this.
You're a national gem.
And I'll see you in therapy.
Saturday nights on The Circle with Ethan Hatcher. It's the best. Thank you, friend.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Terry.
you. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You betcha.
And since we're looking at Thanksgiving through the rearview mirror, I'll go ahead and tell everybody Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy your December. I will be out next week. We are taking a break from the show next Saturday for Radiothon, where we're going to be raising money as a station for the Salvation Army, tradition that we have done going on for more than 25 years now. I think we're coming up on almost 30. So it is something that is very near and dear to the hearts of everyone here at WIBC. But then I'll be back for one final broadcast of the year on the 20th. And until then, I'll leave you with my parting words of wisdom. Wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever you're doing, remember that life is a state of mind. See you on the 20th, folks.
I'm Deidre Hall with a message about your eye health. My mother had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, which means my family members are at greater risk. AMD affects vision, and having low vision as a result of wet AMD, the more severe form of AMD, can mean a task like driving can become a major challenge.
I'm Dr. Sada of the Doheny Eye Institute in UCLA. AMD is the most common cause of severe, irreversible vision loss in older adults in the U.S. AMD affects central vision, which lets you see fine details. About 9 million Americans are living with wet AMD or are at risk. If you're over 50, smoke, or have a family history of wet AMD, you could be at increased risk. If a healthcare professional suspects wet AMD, a retina specialist can confirm the diagnosis and work with you on a treatment plan.
Routine eye care, including regular eye exams, can help maintain your vision. Visit www.geteyesmart.org for more information.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
100 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Football is back, and so are great hairlines. We Grow Hair Indy has helped former local professional football players get back in the game with full natural hair. You don't have to play pro ball to get pro-level results. Hey, it's Rob, and I knew I picked the right team when I needed a Hail Mary for my hair. I called We Grow Hair Indy. Whether you're tailgating, coaching, or watching from the couch, do it with confidence. Trade the sidelines for a hairline. Get back in the game at We Grow Hair Indy. Schedule your free evaluation today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. Enjoy being out and about this fall. Enjoy watching the games in person with your friends with confidence you haven't had in years. And you can do it with a trip to We Grow Hair Indy. 317-522-2995.